Once you get through those pieces, I would say communicate, communicate, communicate. Over communicate with your employees. Let them know new things are coming. For employers that are looking to go to market, I always find this interesting, and this is where we work with employers the most. There's a lot. It's very overwhelming as an employer today to go to market for anything. Obviously, my world is HR technology, so anything in HR technology, I've kind of joke. It feels like 100 new systems hit the market every day, right? Probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but that's how it feels, and so that's very overwhelming. So how do you get through all of the muck of the world to determine what makes sense for you as an employer? This really is, what do you need? Identifying success. What gaps do you have today? Do you have systems that are working, that are solid, and we don't want to displace those? So how do you integrate anything new you bring into the picture? And then how do you let employees know what they have, where it is, how do you find it, how does it work? Where do you log in here and there's a link to take you there? All of those things. And so I would say, a couple of things from this perspective. One, have a very clear idea of what you want and need. So that's number one. Otherwise, if you don't have that all figured out, you're going to get very enamored by that new shiny whistle and get it all in there and then realize, oh, actually, that doesn't quite accomplish the goal that we had because we didn't do a good job of identifying the goal up front. So that'd be number one. Number two is getting very deep into those demos, those conversations with those vendors, being very clear about what your expectations are about integrations back to your other systems. Because if for some reason it's not going to integrate, you're going to be really frustrated that that wasn't identified up front, and then you've got this ongoing problem. So little things like that all make a big difference when you think about your go live and your long-term strategy. And then once you get through those pieces, I would say communicate, communicate, communicate. Over communicate with your employees. Let them know new things are coming. Let them know that how this impacts them. Are they going to have a new time system? Or, is this going to be something they go into every day? Is this going to be a new benefits administration system that hopefully they go in more than once a year? Those kind of things. But you've got to be clear that the employees know what they're doing, and so that they don't get frustrated. And then it's those ongoing checks. And I would say, in today's world and knowing how technology is evolving so quickly, if you've got solid partners, but you don't feel like they're quite making the mark, don't forget you need to talk to them too, right? If you're going to go out and evaluate new technologies, be sure you understand what you have and if they've rolled out something new you're unfamiliar with, or maybe it ends up being a hybrid situation of, ooh, wow, cool, we can turn that on, but it doesn't quite hit the mark over here, right? And so again, how do they all talk to each other? And this is where AI could come into play and whatnot. If you need a system that's a little bit unique, you may need to go out and have a standalone solution, but you better be sure it's going to integrate, because having to do any manual entry is not at all what you have time for. None of us do.